All right, what's up, everybody? I guess I could wait a few minutes for people to get on, but I got more stuff to do. So let's see. Just gonna run through some stuff real quick from SuperChips. Had an absolute blast with Chad and Yeti heading down there. I'm sure some of you saw the the videos, and of course those at the race saw some of our interesting time. So it was a lot of fun. So thanks again for Chad and Yeti for the ride down and all the fun over the course of the weekend. Also, thanks to everybody that was that we hopefully didn't drive too crazy in the tents and pit areas around us. So thanks all you guys for being good sports with our again our chaos and all that kind of stuff. So congrats to Cody and Josh and on their wins or first and second. Those guys were really strong all weekend. Also, big congrats to Chris Sanchez for winning Real Street with our Gen 2s. That was definitely nice to see. Um, Also, huge shout out and thanks to Tom Rockwell and Sam and Dave Taylor and Joey Diaz and just, let's see, Matt. I mean, just everybody that was running our stuff there. Everybody had some good runs. Probably could have went deeper with a little bit of luck in Outlaw, but that's how this stuff goes. Um, Overall, I was super happy with how everything worked. We got to learn a bunch more. We even got Chad, beer man or beer cart man or Mr. Stoley, as I was calling him. We even got him to run about 6 rounds with his CJC car, so that was a lot of fun. Also, managed to take the iPad away from him and not let him tune himself into a donut, so that was cool. Um, so overall, pretty cool event. I did think that the 4 lanes on each side worked pretty well. Personally, I would like to have seen the grooves a little bit closer together so that people couldn't line up putting like you had a pair groove, another groove here. I didn't really like the fact that guys could overlap tires from one to the other. I thought that was a little bit sketchy with kind of seeing a few people try that, and then after that, and I don't remember any of those passes really going that well. And then after that, seeing people in those lanes not having very good passes because of the amount of prep and everything being put down. So I personally would like to see those closer together. That way you can't overlap tire marks like that. So that was my only interesting bit about it. Definitely surprised at how much prep carried down track and how sticky the track was even all the way to the finish line. Um, so that was kind of my thoughts on the prep and all that stuff. I'm still kind of against all. I'm kind of against all the 6 to 12 layers of prep that we're seeing at these races. I'll comment some more later on the rules announcement. I think has a lot of people you know kind of freaking out about the straight line, but I really think that it's something good that needs to be done. Um, Friday, I don't remember seeing anybody get stuck in pop speed controls. Saturday, I don't remember either. I don't remember that being too crazy. And then Sunday was they either kind of stuck or hesitated on the line and got out, or totally stuck and blew up a speedo, or you know, people were hitting really hard trying to get out of the glue and then blowing the tires off it and crashing. There wasn't, you know, it was enjoyable to sit there and watch all the real street races and actually watch passes and people racing. Where Outlaw to me is disappointing seeing. You know, I don't know. I didn't keep stats on it, but it almost feels that I almost feel that the races weren't as good to watch just because I mean, and I'll be honest, the way I tuned with Chad was just, I wanted him to make it off the line and down the path, down the track every time for a pass, A to B. Totally wasn't worried about speed or mile an hour because most of the time people were sticking or crashing. So that, again, that's not really what I would like to see from racing, and I don't think that's what's going to bring people back. Omar, I get that there's preps that don't spring. I also think, though, taking the heat guns out of it are going to change that a lot. I don't know. So I think that's going to be very different. But anyway, everything was really good. Again, Chris ran our Gen 2 pinks, um, double stuff, wide, medium foams, wide Super V rims. Um, nothing crazy. When we were at our test spot, though, there was no prep down at all. And actually, our V4 purples from before were actually really, really good. And the big thing that we've seen is like what I would consider more of our touring car compounds, or what would be probably more of a true dry tire compounds, were what we originally came out with. So what we've kind of seen, and which I can kind of advise to people now when they ping me about the dry tire stuff, is if you're running on really abrasive, like tight closed, like surfaces, like concrete or things like that, I would definitely revert or send people over to our yellows. If you're on asphalt, like we were over by our hotel, it's got a little bit of oil in it, a little bit more of a rocky surface. Then I would have to say our old V4 purples, even though they feel hard, they're actually really, really good. And they'll as you're doing a burnout, they bite pretty good and pull the car out of your hand. Excuse me. And if you're running anywhere that's actually racing with prep tires as well, I would have to 100% say that the Gen 2s are the way to go, because that rubber was really developed to work to adhere to the prep and to adhere to the tracks that have prep, especially down track. And that kind of proved to be the case there at SuperChips in the Real Street class, as the prep, as the tires really adhered to the prep well. Chris's car, I don't think he really ever spun a tire. I think he could have definitely pushed that harder and been into the 2.0s pretty safe and pretty easily. So it'll be interesting to see as we kind of push forward into the summer and that class grows. Again, to me, it was one of my favorite classes to watch, not because we won, but because there was good side-by-side racing through all the races. So let's see, ProFoams. So some of you may have noticed in my pictures that there was a different looking ProFoam. So we made another version of it, and the reason why is actually the prep. So our original ProFoam was designed to unless we've tried a lot of rubber stuff, trust me, I'm not even going down that road, because I'm not telling everybody what we're learning and doing. So the original point of these was to simulate having a bigger rim, but still allow the soft contact patch and sidewall pressure. What we have learned is I've done a lot of testing and made a lot of, if people saw me cutting ProFoams at the race, I have a ton of different cutting tools that I load blades into, and I change widths and tweak all this kind of stuff for our widths. So in that, we found some things that worked extremely well. However, I wanted to try something else as we headed into this race, and knowing that getting off the line was going to be a little bit more difficult. So what I made was an even bigger ProFoam, so you can kind of see the core is even larger than before. However, to take some of the weight out of it and to make it easier to load into a tire for putting tires together, we put the teeth into it. Also, I made a pretty stupid mistake originally with the ProFoams, is that this is a closed cell foam. So when you fit this all really tight inside of a tire, there's no airflow from the inner to the outer. which means venting is weird and the tires always kind of feel like almost like you're running an air tire because the airflow is really restricted. So what we've been doing is drilling additional holes in the rims. So right out next to the mounting beads, we've been putting 2 extra holes in our rims and then 4 along the back edge. That way we get proper venting, but then adding the sort of gear teeth to these helps aid in that quite a bit. It also lightens the foam. I want to say they're pretty close. Maybe the red one might actually be a little bit lighter. The other thing we did was we actually decreased the diameter just slightly. So there's a little bit less preload on the tire. And this combination of things, oh, they're also narrower. So we narrowed these up, and actually we're going to narrow all of our purples up a little bit going forward from here as well. As we found, taking some of the preload out of the sidewall of the tire actually helps gain even more grip. So we've adjusted all of our purple ProFoams from here on out. They're going to come a little bit narrower. These ones are going to get added to the website maybe tonight or possibly tomorrow. And we have a limited number of these, so I expect them to go kind of quick, but I think this will be a good range for us to start tuning with on different levels of prep and grip. If you don't have rules that we're seeing people try and start making about the preps, I think these will be what we'll run at all the major events where sticking on the line is an issue. It doesn't allow the tire to compress down so far, and so to let me explain why that is. Most of the tires that everybody else uses are based on SC tires. So they have a 3-inch inner mounting diameter, while the outer is 2.2. Now, everybody sees the pictures of the sidewalls wrinkling up or tires sitting down a little bit. But what people forget is that the inner bead doesn't do that. It's a 3-inch rim. So that really doesn't sit down because the sidewall and everything packs up so quick. So the outside will kind of twist, but they don't get that from the inside. Well, our tire does that all the way through. So what we needed to do was create something that didn't allow that still allowed the sidewall twist, which I think is good, as it absorbs the hit and helps make traction. However, we needed to create something that doesn't allow the tire to sink as much, which really helps keep the tire from flattening out on a hit, where the cars get stuck off the line. That's kind of the trick that everybody's been doing as well with guys taking our original Accelerate foam or our double stuff and in DS wides and jamming those in the 3.3 and the 2.2 rims, or 3.022 rims. So that's been, I think, a fairly standard thing. I did get a chance to talk to a few of the people, and yes, our foam did win SuperChips in King of the Streets. So thank you guys for being honest and letting me know that our foam is still, I think, like, the winning foam since last August. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, so another thing I found out is with the ProFoams, racers are actually taking these and they're actually grinding out the centers, and they are putting them in 2.2 and 3 or 2.230 rims. So they're literally taking a Dremel tool with a sanding drum, and they are grinding out all this so that they can slide them on those rims, because they work. Now, I really didn't want to make these for the other brands of tires, because this is something I've worked very hard on, and I think it gives our tires an advantage. However, with the tires sticking on the lines, and people blowing up speed controllers and that kind of stuff, and knowing that racers are just taking these and using a Dremel tool to them and sanding them up and trying to get them round and balanced and everything like that, we came back and decided that we're going to do it. So I don't know how quick I'll have them. I highly doubt I'll have them fast enough for SummerSlam, in 2 weeks. But for sure by, probably about 3 weeks from now, we are going to do ProFoams that will have a blue core and a green core. And those ones will be the same outer foam as each of these, and just the dimensions adjusted to match for 2230 rims. So that way racers don't have to do that. And also, maybe it'll help people not blow up speed controls at races because the tires pancake out, and that I know people, that'll probably kill a lot of our DS wide or double stuff sales on that stuff. But at the same time, and honestly, these are a lot more work for us. I would rather not do it. However, I do think it really helps save the speed controls. It helps people get off the line without as much start power, but then they still have performance down track that's not affected. So it's something that we've decided, if it's needed and the crazy prep stays the way it is, then we're just going to do it because at the end of the day, it's going to be better for the racers. It'll be easier to mount. It'll be easier, for people to get true in the tires, and hopefully save everybody some money on speed controls. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll be getting the red ones up soon, and we'll be getting the green and blue ones ordered tomorrow, and I'll get them in as quick as I can and get them to some guys to test, and get them out and released to everybody. So pre-mounts. Wow, I mounted so many tires at SuperChips. I never expected to do that. I was supposed to race. I had kind of crashed my car prior to that. Um, you know, so I wanted to work on it, but then I got to the race, and we were doing so many foams and that I felt that it was more important for me to not race, not do any of that, and support our customers, support our team, and that. And honestly, I had a blast doing it. So it was so much fun sitting out there and jamming away on stuff that I actually set up the tent outside today, and just started working here. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. But you know, there's that. So I am going to go to Maumee. I'm going to try and bring my daughter Allie along. I'm going to try and get to work on some cars so she can play, and race a little bit too. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get on all that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody out there. So if you see me, feel free to stop by. I will do my best to actually get some pre-mounts and stuff done beforehand. I'll get all of our orders caught up and out the door, and then bring as much as I can with me to the race. So, yeah, if everybody's coming out, come on out and stop by, say hi, and for sure, safe travels out there. Let's see, that's pretty much it. So for the moment, I'm going to answer a few questions and look at what everybody's posting. Yes, Omar, I understand there's preps that don't string, but I also seen I also seen what you guys were doing with duck sauce, and I seen what's going on. And sorry, man, there's something that has to be done. Either I'll be honest. So I pitched my idea of going to tech with dry tire and prepping and putting cars down that way. No heat, just let the prep flash and you go race. But I think everybody is really worried that it's going to chase too many people away. Um, you know, I think everybody's going to be surprised once you take away the heat guns how much the prep is not going to transfer. So I'm really curious to see how this works out. I think you're going to start seeing more people heading back to burnouts. Um, and this is one of the things I don't know if a lot of people understand. The primary reason why people are using so many coats of prep is, even as you get running, at least again testing with our stuff, even when you get running, you don't need 12 coats of prep. However, what you guys are doing is you're putting on a lot of thick coats of prep, and then heating it so that it's soft. And this is why you're not actually going faster. No, if this was technically to work for making traction and actually decreasing times, you guys would be in the 1.3s or 1.2s. But in reality, you're doing it to allow you to generate wheel speed to get off the line and out of the prep. And that's why suddenly we have these big sticky, prep puddles, and that was one of the things, I'll be honest, I think really threw everybody off at SuperChips, because I went out there and looked at the track early on Saturday morning, and you could see the glue puddles. However, as the sun came out and we walked back out there before the round, that stuff was gone, because the surface there was pretty open. It was pretty rocky. And you could see where all that prep had melted down into the track, and you could touch the top of the stones. Like, it wasn't just a total glue puddle anymore. And you saw that in the times. As all the times went up, a lot of people were spinning tires. And it wasn't until Sunday when all of that came back, I think it came back pretty violently on everybody. That caught a lot of guys off guard, was because the pavement filled up, basically. Those spots became totally saturated, and you had, an Aunt Jemima syrup filled, puddle again, that had nowhere to dissipate and run off. So that's where it became a problem. So I do think that a cold tire will not transfer as much prep to the road. I do think that doing that at the race will change everything quite a bit, especially if they do the multi-lane setup. So I think that has a lot of potential to work. So to me, I mean, like I said, I'm still a fan of, you come to tech with dry tires, you prep there, you can only get on so much. If you want to use heat, fine, use heat, but you're not going to be able to use that type of stuff and get that many coats on when you're only allowed to put prep on for 30 seconds. So that's still my standing on it, and what I think needs to be done. Let's see. Yeah, unless I'm not answering that. Thank you, Ken. Missed you at the race. Hopefully we'll see you at a race soon, or I'll make a trip up to Canada to run with you guys up there, or we'll go find a place to run right over the border or something. We'll figure it out. Jay, bro, I don't agree with you. If you do slow-mo videos and you actually watch the tires and do as much as I've done, honestly, you're wrong. The foams have a huge impact. And I can show you 100 videos and slow-mos and different things that basically tell you that you're wrong on the foams making a difference. I can also show you the correlating start power to get off the line with the different foams. So I know you're wrong there. No offense. You have your opinion, I have mine. And I'll be honest, the guys talking about this just being a tune thing, it's not just a tune thing, because it has to do with gear ratio. It has to do with motor and rotor strength. It has to do with your battery voltage and voltage drop. I mean, anytime you have any of those things that are variables in the equation, they're going to affect how much power you have to pull out of the prep. Even things such as wire size. If a guy's running 10 gauge with a weak rotor and maybe a little bit too high of a gear, guess what? I don't care what tune you put in it. He can put 100% start power. His car's not moving off the line. So there's a lot of variables into this that, I'll be honest, everybody doesn't want to share in this because they want to win. I get that. However, it's to a point to where it's damaging the turnout at events, or you're seeing enough people saying, this is dumb, I can't figure it out, and they don't understand what to do. So if I can do something as simple as change a tire foam that allows you to drop 10, 15, 20 points on start power and you still get out of the groove, I'm going to make it, and I'm going to help people race. So I'm also going to learn how to do this, as I've already ran some passes in the 1.5s, and I'm going to learn how to do this, and I'm going to help share, what I learned to people, because at the end of the day, this needs to grow, not die. Like, this to me was the biggest influx of racers into the RC industry, in a long time. It's awesome. Everybody can grab a car, can learn how to do it. They're not crazy hard to drive, and it's brought a lot of people into the hobby. And then Now with the frustration of the speed controllers, they've left and gone into running off-road or on-road or other sections, or some have just out and out quit, which is definitely not something I want to see from a racer standpoint, and of course as a manufacturer standpoint. So if changes need to be made, and this is the other thing that gets me, is so many years I've raced all these other classes, and people that are at the top that have it figured out never ever want to change a class to try and make it better or easier for other racers to be competitive. For those without as much experience or those without as much money, to me that's paramount. That's the number one thing we should be trying to do. We should be trying to recruit and bring in as many people as we can. That's the point of this. This is a great hobby. It My whole engineering and design career has been based off of what I have learned in this hobby. So to me, it's really important not just to say learn your tune. No, that's bullshit. I totally don't agree with that at all. I really think that's bad, because there's no easy button to it. You can't just give everybody, you know, a setup and say go race, because most of them are going to blow their tires off. So, and that you're also getting out of the prep because you know all the other stuff to do that. Come on, man, stop. You can say whatever you want, but you know as well as I do, all of it matters. And if you don't think that, then maybe you should try some harder foams like all these other guys are that are winning races. So, you know, like all of it matters. And if it's something simple that can help racers to go, then let's go. Let's do it. So I'm all for doing something. And I honestly I applaud Scotty, because I knew the reaction that he was going to have from the racers, especially the diehard racers that are the fast guys like yourself, that are going to be the fast guys that are going to really, really push back against this. But, it's really important that we don't just blame the speed controller, because the speed controllers work fine in every other form of RC. The speed controllers have worked fine up until SuperChips last year, or not SuperChips, Straight Line last year, when all the prep started getting really out of control. So, you know, I mean, it's all changed, and changed for the worse. And you can't always just say, "Oh, people need to learn how to tune." How do you learn how to tune when you're blowing up a $285 speed controller every hit if you don't know how to set it? That's a huge problem. So, in my opinion, you can't just say, "Well, then don't run in the prep." Well, then you can't even go down the track. So come on, just everybody needs to be a little bit reasonable and understand where we have, and again, look back to where we were and how fast and how far it's progressed. You know, I mean, heck, this time last year, everybody wanted to shoot me because my tires blew up. I redesigned them, I remade everything. Now we didn't break a single tire at SuperChips, and we won a class. We had guys in the 1.5s there. We ran good, and I'm very proud of that fact. But that, as a manufacturer, you have to work on it. But at the same time, you can't just tell new racers, especially, "Oh, you just blew up a speedo, you need to learn how to tune," and walk away. It doesn't work like that. So let's see. This hobby needs more vodka. Chad officially had enough vodka for probably 3/4 of the field at SuperChips. But I will say this much: he is 100% Canadian, because his reaction time actually got better the more vodka he drank. So again, props, Chad. That was very impressive and very funny to watch. So let's see. Okay, I hear you out, Jay. I hear you out. Um, let's see. Hey, WebRC. So with all that said, me rambling about how out of control the prep is, and how, I think as a racing community, like I said, the guys that are running fast and got this figured out, they're not going to want to change. There's a few guys that recognize it. I think Dustin does, and I know, I talked to Scotty about it. I've pinged him a few times about it, just letting them know what was coming. Um, I'm glad to see him at least make an attempt at it. As a racing community, I think it's also very important that instead of everybody complaining at him about it, let's 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 do it this way. I challenge everybody out there to do it this way. Instead of complaining about the rule that Scotty made, everybody go this weekend and try it. And try, and I'll be honest, try to figure out how to cheat it. Try to figure out how to cheat it, and then instead of keeping it to yourself to win the race, share it. Share it with No Prep Junkies page. Share it to um, to Scotty. Share it to people so that we can learn a better way to do this and to prevent um, to prevent this. I just left the store with sticks. Brian, I was going to go to the store and go buy some creamsicles or popsicles and take a picture with it. You beat me to it. But this is one of the things, like when I complained with IFMAR about the 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 body rake in our A scale cars, or the 2-cell 112 scale stuff that they wanted to do, that I said was the dumbest thing ever. Go try it. Go try it and post your finding, but be reasonable about it. Let's try it. Be professional about it. And like, hey, these were my results. This is what I found. Hey, look, it doesn't string, but it still transfers a lot to the track. Because ultimately, that's the thing. Like, if you find something that works, that's great. If it doesn't transfer a lot to the track, to where you're going to make the track to where other guys are going to be stuck and blowing up stuff later on, that's the important part. I think that's really what everybody's trying to solve, and what Dustin was getting at, and what I'm getting at, and what Scotty's looking at for his event. So I think it's really, really important that we correct the ship now. I've been involved in a lot of different racing that I've been involved in a lot of different racing that I voiced my opinion on some of the stuff we were doing, the direction it was going, and was told, oh, I only wanted it for my benefit or for whatever. And then a few years later, as the classes died and went downhill, they made some of those changes and backstepped on it, or they didn't, and the classes just died. So I think everybody really, even the people that left, really still want to do this. I really think that. I really think that a lot of people want to race. If they didn't, we wouldn't see Real Street. We wouldn't see VXL. We wouldn't see the adaptation of other classes. And it's the same thing that we've seen in the on-road segment, is extra classes suddenly come about because people don't like the path that the other side is on. However, they're not going to spend all day arguing on Facebook to keep it the way they want so that they can win. So again, I think it's very, very important that everybody actually looks at Scotty's rules, gives it a try, a serious try, see what you think, and report on it. Talk to them. Talk to people, and let's seriously, let's make this better. Like, this stuff can be huge. Like, this can be massive for the RC industry. Again, from my side, I want to see as many people in this as possible. Not because I make tires or any of that crap, because I still go back to hardcore on-road racer. I want to see more people into it. I want to see more people progress into those other areas. I want to see people traveling, as was lucky enough to do, to 21 countries and be world champions and that kind of stuff. So drag racing is awesome in its own right, and I also think it's awesome at bringing more people into the RC hobby. So like I said, have a little bit of an open mind. don't beat up on Scotty too bad. He's a good guy. You know, he has really good intentions. Um, you know, so I think that's pretty much it. Anybody else have any other questions? Let's see. I agree, David. SuperChips was way better with the extra lanes. At least it gave you some, you know, some choice. And I mean, if you think about it, all 4 lanes had pretty good puddles of prep. So the fact that that really could have been all in one lane, it could have been really bad, really, really bad. Let's see. Oh, yep, I see. Mr. Januzzi, transmissions. So I did sell all the CustomWorks transmissions that I had made at SuperChips. I had 10 of them with me. I do have like 40 more of them coming. I will find out when exactly they will arrive. When they do, I'm gonna get them on the site. I'll probably get them technically up on the website, um, but I won't turn on the ordering until I know an ETA when they get here. At which point I'll make them live, and that way, as soon as I get here, I'll get them right out the door. Uh, oh, magnesium rims. I've had a bunch of people asking me about those. Those are in production, and they are pushing to have them. Um, they are pushing to have those. Maybe the week of June 26th to 30th. So we may see mag rims by the end of June. Um, so yeah, those are on the way as well. Chad, I agree on the lane splitting. I think all the lanes should be pushed together a little bit closer. I think that would be a lot better. That way you can't lane split and mess up lanes on either side of you. Let's see. David, I think they'll let us back in. I mean, I don't know, you know, that. And plus, I think we're far enough off in the corner. I don't think that would be a problem. But I mean, that's not a question, you know, for me really. I don't think that will be a problem though. I don't think it was that bad. So you know, I highly doubt the area we're in sees a lot of traffic, but I could be wrong. So let's see. Shepherd lead. I saw that for Spashit and Zen Racing over in England, taking over Shepherd Micro Racing. I don't know if any of you guys really know about any of that stuff, but um, I used to run for and import the Shepherd 10 scale and A scale cars. It was very cool company. I was there over in Germany and you know, met the family and talked to Patrick and everybody there. So you know, condolences to them on his father passing, but also you know, thank you for you know, building an amazing company that many of us, you know, had ran for or raced with over the years. Um, Congratulations to Spashit and Zen for taking that over. It's really nice to see a very good group take over the brand. I think they have a great foundation to work with. Um, so for sure, when I think David's coming over for that Legends race, if anybody hasn't seen that, again, Scotty and the Thunderdrome are going to be putting on, you know, Legends of RC thing, which I feel very honored, but you know, it's kind of weird to be included in something like that. But um, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing David and Joel and you know all the old school racers that are talking about coming to that. Um, you know, for me, there's a few of those guys on that list that I was coming up like watching and wanted to race with, and they were gone before I got there. So I'm actually really, really fired up to run that race. I got to clean up. I got to try and get through all these drag races coming up, and get myself a 12 scale car and get building and try and sneak out to practice or run something because you know I can't show up not having driven anything, even though I know a bunch of those guys will, but I'm a little too competitive for that. So I'll definitely have to get out and drive something beforehand and race with them. So right now my pick to win that will be Spashit, since he's probably got the most wheel time out of all of us right now. He still races a fair bit over in England, so he'll probably whoop up on us pretty good. But it should be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. Brian, Yellow Gen 2s. I don't know when or if we will do those. They're on the list to get samples of. I actually have a lot of stuff still on the list to get samples of, or that are actually already being made. So yeah, like I've told everybody before, and even some of the people that have seen the most recent batches, like just like we're doing with the foam, every single batch, whether it's working on the overlap, the belt material, the rubber compounds with slight tweaks, mold, fit, and finished, stuff like that. Um, I'm working with the folks over in Japan as much as possible to continue to improve every single batch. And I think everybody's seen the jump in performance in our tires from last year to this year, and even from our first batch of Gen 2s to the second batch of Gen 2s. So we're just going to keep making them better and better, plain and simple. I again, I'm very, very proud that we broke no tires at SuperChips. So that was, for me, was awesome. Let's see. What's up, Bobby? Mr. James. So, like I said, overall, I'm pretty happy with everything. I thought for us as a brand, everything's continuing to improve and going better. SuperChips was fun. I'm going to definitely try and get my stuff together. I might make a trip down to Maumee this weekend. I think they're practicing. I hope they're practicing. I don't know. I guess I'll find out if I show up and there's no one there but me. But I might make a road trip down there and go check that out and run some this weekend. I am going to be setting up my tent on my driveway tomorrow, or in my front yard, and back to gluing and mounting tires and pre-mounts and getting all the orders caught up and out of here. I have a lot of stuff I want to do there, and I'm really looking forward to getting on to these next few races. I am starting my new day job at McLaren Linmar Engineering on Monday. So we'll see how much vacation time they let me have right off the bat, and if I can't sneak some other races in there. So I would definitely like to do that. So thanks again for all the customers and all the people that stopped by and chatted with me a bit at SuperChips. Thanks again to all the organizers and folks that ran SuperChips. Even though I had some computer and timing, cord issues and that stuff, I thought they did a pretty good job. Thanks to Chad and Yeti and everybody that was over in our tent for a great time. And, it should be a blast. So if anybody checks this out later, just post some comments there, either on YouTube or, on my Facebook, and I'll definitely be replying. If you're not on my YouTube, I'm also going to, with my tent set up outside, I'll probably set up and do some videos that I'll upload to YouTube that kind of goes through more of the details of all of our different foams. Just to kind of outline that, I'll probably make one going through our different compounds to give a better explanation of all the different compounds and when and where to use those. I also want to go through just a bunch of different stuff. I know I keep talking about doing it, but it's something that I want to get done here pretty quick. Also some mounting videos. Obviously, I taught my kid how to glue stuff, so she's helping me, set up and prepare all the stuff for mounting. So I've let her practice gluing on some harder compounds and some blem tires. So we'll probably get blem tires up on the website here pretty quick. These other ProFoams up. As soon as I have an ETA on the 2230 ProFoams, I'll get those up. Let's see. Transmissions I'll get up. As soon as I have an ETA on mag rims, I'll get those up. And yeah, just gonna keep working. That's what we do here. So thanks everybody. And any questions, again, leave them in the comments, or if you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Cool. Catch you later.